You're the guy people call when they need a helping hand, moving furniture, unloading a truck. But lately, your shoulder's been acting up, and you're the one who's calling for help. And that's the moment you realize you can no longer shoulder the load.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for orthopedic care, with a range of surgical and non-surgical treatments. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This podcast, episode 619, How Becca Lost 49 Pounds in 2020.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Hey guys, before I get into this episode with Becca, I wanted to mention something real quick, especially since Becca is a former coworker of mine from a radio station, that I wanted to mention somebody who did play a role in this podcast. And I found out yesterday he just passed away, which is very sad, which is Pistol Pete Miller, who was on 97.3 The Wolf here in Cincinnati while I was on B105. And he had a role in this podcast. One, when you listen to the intro, the sweet booty gains, that's Pete. And also, Pete came up with the name Pound This. That this podcast originally started when I was doing a blog for the radio station. It was called Wait a Minute. And I was doing that for a while. When it became a podcast, the podcast was first called Wait a Minute, which if you listen to the very first episodes, you'll hear that. And then I was going to be featured by Women's Health Magazine. And one of my bosses at the radio station said, well, we should change the name because we can't own this name. It's already trademarked. We should find another name. So we were brainstorming so hard of something that just fit me and made sense and also wasn't already taken. And we could not come up with a name, and I was having to get some coffee in the kitchen at the radio station with Pete. And I'm like, Pete, I need your help. Trying to figure out a dang name for my podcast. And I need something that's fun, that feels like me, but also describes what I'm doing. And we're so stuck. And we pitched a couple names around and nothing. And then we went and did our radio shows. And like an hour later, we met in the kitchen again. And he's like, what about Pound This? And I'm like, oh, I like that. Ooh, that's good. Because it feels like fun. It's kind of a little inappropriate if you think about it, which is also me. So I went down to one of my boss's office. We brought it up. We could not believe that it wasn't already a porn website. And we went with Pound This. And so forever grateful for Pete for that. And he's just a creative, super nice, awesome guy. So it's sad to lose him. And to be honest, out of the past couple weeks, he's the third coworker that I've lost in radio. Also, Laura Powell, who was on Q102 here in Cincinnati, and Larry Neal, who was on Q100.3 in Medford, Oregon. So I bring this up not to be a bummer, but to just a good reminder, especially with how insane the world is right now, is to, when people make a difference in your life and you love them on any level, to say hi, to check in. I had multiple people yesterday message me and they're like, so sad about Pete. And they're like, oh, why didn't I keep in touch? I'm so mad at myself. And so it's just another good reminder of, check in with somebody, especially with everything going on in the world right now. Say hi. Just, you don't have to go into some deep, this is what you mean to me, but, to check in, just because you never know what's going to happen. And it's always good to let people know how much you care about them when they're still here. So sending out positive vibes. And so let's get into this episode with Becca. Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This podcast. I am Amanda Valentine. My guest today is Becca Potzner. What's up?
Hello. What's up? What's up?
So former coworkers.
Yes.
And we have a lot to catch up on here that I know that you've been on a weight loss journey through COVID. And I wanted to catch up with you about that because I think that's awesome. And I feel like that so many people through 2020, it's either like, okay, this is the year I'm going to start working on this, or this is the year that I am just going to eat all of my feelings. And I feel like there no way is right or wrong. It's just kind of how everybody has dealt with it. So going into that, I guess first for some backstory, we worked together at the radio station here in Cincinnati. And from there, you took a job in Tennessee. I don't know if you want to talk about what your job was or...
Yeah. So I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee to work for Entertainment, a branch of Live Nation, to work marketing for our festivals.
Yeah. So like, again, like just talking about COVID of like how, I mean, a job that completely got shut down,
Right.
working for live music, specifically giant festivals.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yeah. Didn't have too much work this year.
So how did that go from, okay, so my job is not going so hot. The world is a trash fire. Did you think of like, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to start exercising. Like, what was your game plan? Or do you even have a game plan or tell me the thought process?
Yeah. So I think in the beginning, I was kind of a mix of like, I'm going to drink and eat everything because I have all these feelings. And then finally I was like, okay, I don't have my work to focus on, which has been my main focus for years and years. I put all of my time and effort into my work. And then I was like, okay, if I don't have something to work on, I am at least going to make it a habit of working out. So when I do go back to work, I still want to work out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that started. I'm like, if I don't have anything to do, I'm going to at least work out and eat healthy so I can feel better.
So what did you start doing? How did you start exercising, changing your food?
Yeah, I started kind of just monitoring what I was eating, and then I started to just walk. Like, I do not like exercising. I've never really been someone that's like, I want to go exercise. I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go to the gym. So I just kind of like looked at what I knew that I could get myself to do.
Mm-hmm.
So since it was the weather was nicer, I would just go for a walk, or I would look up like a dance video to do, and then I kind of just started transitioning to more into doing Peloton workouts, just like 15-30-minute ride, which I just use the app. I don't have the bike.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
I'm not rich. I was just using a little bike in my apartment complex, and I use the app, which is super nice because stuff like that makes me actually want to finish the workout. If I was just blindly on a bike, I'd be like, cool, 10 minutes, sweet. I'm over this.
Oh, I would have bounced before 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So just making sure I was doing some kind of activity every day, whether it was the bike or walking. And then I found these YouTube videos that I actually don't mind doing. So that's primarily what I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of food changes have you done?
I eat in a calorie deficit, so I just make sure I hit a certain amount of calories. I make sure I eat a vegetable, which I didn't typically do. And I make sure I eat a protein, and I make sure I drink a lot of water.
Yes, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. I'm a simple person. I like to keep it simple and not make it crazy.
Well, and how much weight have you lost so far?
49 pounds.
Ooh, so close to that 50 mark.
I know. I think if it probably didn't go over the holidays, I probably would have hit it. But I had to give myself a little treat.
Yeah, I totally understand. And then how do you feel compared to where you were before?
I definitely feel better. There was some stuff like I had acid reflux a lot, and some stuff that I don't know maybe had to do with I don't have a gallbladder anymore. So I think like that kind of affected me. But now that I eat healthier and I'm more active, like I don't have acid reflux, which is really nice. I feel a lot better. I have more energy, and I just feel more confident. Like, I don't know that I feel like I look like I lost a lot of weight, but I feel like, oh, I did a whole workout this morning. My body can do anything. I can go I can go climb a mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just feel more confident in that aspect, I guess.
I mean, I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, 100%.
So at the beginning, were you like, I have like a weight loss goal? Did you have a number? You're just like, I'm just going to be healthier and see what happens. And then from there, has that progressed? Are you more now like thinking about how much you can lose, or is it just like, no, just keep it healthy?
Yeah, I think I definitely have an end goal of where I'd like to be eventually, but I don't have like a set date and time just because I want it to be sustainable for me. And I don't want to like say, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in a month or whatever. That's just not
No, that's
feasible.
super smart.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I want to hit my goals every day of eating healthy and working out. And if I get to my goal sooner rather than later, that's awesome. But I just want to make it slow and steady.
No, and that's awesome because, I mean, like you were just saying, that you keep it pretty simple. I think that especially this time of year, everybody gets wrapped up in like, I got to do a detox, or I got to pick this diet, or I got to do intermittent fasting, and I got to pick up a new gym routine. I'm going to get a Peloton. Like it just goes into this like almost complicated, like, oh, this is a whole nother life and I have to subscribe to this new life sort of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, no, you just make some small changes. And then, I assume this was probably started maybe like, was it summer like last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, in a half of a year, you're down 49 pounds just by like making small, healthier changes that make you feel better. I think that we just try to overcomplicate it too much.
Yeah. And I think that's what I was doing before. Like every year you do your New Year's resolution and you're like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do this like 30-day fasting thing and it's going to be awesome. But like, you do the fasting thing and you're like, this sucks. I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah. And then you don't get anywhere. So I think, just making the smaller changes helped a lot.
How many of like those other diets have you done before?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I feel like I definitely did the 24-day challenge thing or
a 20-day fix.
Yeah,
sort of
something like that. Yeah.
A Whole 30. There's a whole list of them.
Or, all the ones where you like cut out certain food groups and stuff. But it just doesn't work. Or like the cleanses where you're like, drink lemon water for 72 hours or whatever. I'm like,
oh my God.
What is that going to do?
Or this hasn't been a trend in a while, but like the master cleanse.
Oh, yes.
Where people are like pooping old boots and like license plates. Like that's why you're losing weight. Like you are just clearing that body.
Yeah. And then you're just going to gain it back when you start eating again, you know?
Yeah. I know multiple people. I mean, it's been a long time, but when that was like their rage for a minute that did that. And they're like, yeah, they lost an insane amount of weight. And like, it made sense if like you're going on a trip, like if like, okay, I just want to feel good in this outfit or whatever, but then realize like this isn't going to stay off. And also a hazard with one of those, as someone who has lived through that many times, if you're doing that for an event, P.S., you're going to get wrecked at that event because you're going to like drink most likely and you're just going to have no tolerance and you're just going to get obliterated.
Right.
That's what happened at my wedding.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I didn't have carbs for 3 months.
And then you had carbs.
And then I was drinking Irish car bombs out of a DOS boot. So it's like done. So I feel like, or, you're doing it for like, I'm going to Cabo or whatever. And then you get there and it's like, whoosh.
Yep. Game over.
Right? Not that, I guess some people are going to Cabo now. I just saw a TikTok where they were making fun of all these like influencers that are traveling all over. And they're like, yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic, they're like, wear a mask, be safe. And now they're just like, I'm in Cabo.
Yeah. It's like, this year sucked, but we all made it through. Here's 50 pictures of me on a beach.
Right? I'm like, oh man, that does sound nice, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss traveling.
Me too.
I personally don't miss live music, but you have to miss live music.
Oh, I 100% miss live music. And I think that's another reason why I'm like, I spent all my time going to live music. Like that was my hobby. So I'm like, okay, I have nothing else to do. So let's just go work out.
Yeah. So do you feel like, I know that your job, at Live Nation is probably not going to be coming back at least this year. I mean, we'll see what happens. Who knows? But like, so do you feel like whenever you get another job or whatever, that is going to kind of, if it puts you in an atmosphere where like an atmosphere of a concert is drinking and eating, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, whatevs, I'm enjoying myself. Do you feel like that would kind of, you know, undo the progress that you've made here? Or is this like, do you think that sustaining kind of what you had planned at the beginning of like, when I go back to work, this is just going to be a part of me now?
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect me as much as it probably would before, just because even going through the holidays, I'm like, it's not really worth it for me to drink 10 White Claws. Like, I'd rather just maybe have one or not even drink it. It's just not worth it at that point. But yeah, I think that was my biggest goal, is just to make it more of a habit that I like want to do. I want to eat better and I want to stay active even when my schedule gets a little bit heavier. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's just like those simple things, like you said, just like eating a vegetable. Like, as somebody that you said that you didn't eat vegetables before, were you the kind of person that says like, I just don't like vegetables, I can't eat them?
No, I mean, I like them. It just wasn't like, I wasn't actively thinking like, oh, I need to eat this to like fuel my body better. I'm just like, oh, I'd just rather eat this.
Yeah.
I'm just such a weird eater anyways. My best friend always makes fun of the foods I eat because I pair the weirdest things.
Like, what do you eat? Now I need examples.
She always makes fun of me because I eat like, have you ever had like broccoli salad?
Oh, yeah.
I eat that all the time, and
dude,
she thinks that's
jam.
so weird.
What?
But like the other day, I ate that and I ate a banana and peanut butter. She's like, "That's so weird." I'm like,
"What?
It works for me."
No, those like go together though. Those aren't even like odd combinations. Like I get like peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yeah,
like,
okay, that's weird. I would not do that.
Peanut butter and like bananas like are like meant for each other.
Yeah. So it's probably not weird. It's just weird to her, but
she's weird.
Yeah.
Tell her that.
I'm sending her the link to this ASAP.
But broccoli salad's the jam, though. I mean, I don't really eat a ton of that just because stuff like that for me, I go into like portion overload. It just like tastes so good. And like if you get it from like the deli or something at Kroger, and it's like, okay, well, that whole tub is a serving. And so those are things that are just, I know for me where I'm like, I have to really like just be like, I'm either going to eat all of this or just don't eat it at all because I'm like, I'm not going to like measure this out. No.
Yeah. It's all about doing what's best for you, you know?
Right? Exactly. That's, I mean, I think that's what's so hard about living a healthier lifestyle or weight loss, because we get so many other things, especially if you're on social media. Like everybody has a plan, everybody's a coach, everybody's got these certain things, and you're just like overwhelmed. And so like, but your friends are all doing this thing, so you're going to do this thing with them, and then it's on to the next thing. And it's like, how can you even decipher what's best for you? Because you're just like, someone else tell me what to do. Because when you have to think about what you really like and doing it, like it's work and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think a big thing for me is just focusing on what's best for me, because I mean, I do spend a lot of time on social media, and it's sometimes hard to see videos of people where they're like, I lost 50 pounds in 2 months. And I'm like, well, crap. Why didn't I do that? You know, but like, I don't know their story. I don't know what they did. And are they telling the truth? Who knows? Because I know there's some people that leave a huge chunk of their journey out on social media. They just want to show off the results, and that's fine. I mean, you did it. That's a huge thing to do. But yeah, just focusing on like what's going to work best for me, because someone who's working out twice a day, eating only vegetables, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah. And half the time they don't. Like, it's, you know, not to just dog on people on Instagram, because they're not all bad. I'm just talking about like your classic kind of like eye roll influencer sort of person that, you know, you don't know that they're like cramming diet pills or they're eating nothing. Like, you don't know what they're doing, and they're just like, you know, do you take their word for it?
Right.
I think that's true of anything. Like even the people you know personally that are posting pictures of like their happy little family. Like, is that what it's really like at home?
Right.
Like, I hate to think that could be negative, but it's like, you know, like everybody is just trying to especially I feel like with this year or how the past year has gone is just kind of like, I just need some place to feel good.
Yeah, right.
And like, it's just, social media is just like, so especially when it comes to weight loss and fitness and all this stuff of just like, then you have the people that are shaming you for not intuitively eating or you're not body positive enough. Like, so it's like, it goes to all these different spectrums of different ways to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that's where I just know. I think that having a social media detox is great.
So necessary.
You know, right? To just step away to see how this stuff makes you feel.
Yeah.
Because some of it is like really helpful. Like I love watching other people like meal prep and what they're doing and stuff like that. And other people, where you just said you compare yourself to them. Like, which is one of the reasons like I don't share what my beginning weight was or where I'm at now, because I know for me, like every year I would read the like People magazine, half my size. And they would be like, you know, I weighed 160 and I was a big fat troll. And I'm like, oh my God, I would murder somebody to be 160.
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I mean? Like, so I think that you just get into the comparison of like numbers or what they did. And like, I would hate just a number on a scale for somebody to be like, compare themselves to that and judge whether you're good or bad or worthy or not. Like, it's just such a dangerous game. Like it's, I don't like that comparison. And I really hate when people will post their weight and then dog on it and just talk about how awful it is. Or like, I gained weight. This is where I am now. This is disgusting. And I'm like, God, that's so like, hey, I'm the queen of being mean to myself. Damn, that's mean.
Yeah, it's hard because people will share their weights and say negative things about themselves, and you're like, well, crap, like that's where I'm at now.
Right?
Like, do you think I'm disgusting? Or
I know, totally. That's where I feel too, of just kind of like, does that mean I'm gross?
Yeah.
Like you would view me as gross. And I'm sure those people, if they saw you, they would never say that because we're always just so freaking mean to ourselves. But that's the comparison thing is so freaking dangerous.
Yeah. If I catch myself like thinking that about someone, I try to unfollow them. But then like, I know that I can watch your stuff and I know I'll learn like things I can eat that might work for me, or Jordan's diet. Like I've taken a lot of tips from him, which I found super helpful. Keeping it real, but
right?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just about finding the people that I guess inspire you and don't make you feel like crap.
Yeah, right. They exist.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of social media, dude, you kill it. Like you just look hot as hell on all your stuff that you post. I'm like,
thank you.
Like you just have like such a vibe.
Nice. I try. I put probably way too much effort into it, honestly.
No, but it's like, you think people like are like, I have an aesthetic, and I'm like, I think that you totally have that, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so cool. Of just like see how like how you like designed your apartment. I'm like, I would never do that. Like for some reason that's just like how you see things and they like fit together and like everything is just like a vibe. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, I just that part of my brain is missing.
Yeah, that's like my brain is on overdrive on that part. Like I just love branding and vibes, I guess you could say. I love a good vibe, I just have a unique style.
And you have an awesome
everything.
Cat that you walk on a leash.
Yes. I wish she walked a little bit better. It's more like she walks me, but
Dude, I would never. We first got Nilla, my little black cat, because your cat's a black cat too.
Yes.
We bought her a leash thinking that she was like cool and be down for it. That was super incorrect.
Yeah.
And even now, like we've had her for 5 years now, going on 6 years. Oh my God, that she is just not the cat to walk on a leash. So I know that now. I'm like, well, I tried, and I follow like these adventure cats on Instagram, and they're like riding in the backpack, or they're like, hiking, and I'm like, that would be so cool. But I feel like it's so much work. Do you have to like train your cat how to like behave on a leash?
Yeah, I don't think that I could take my cat on some of those crazy adventures like the Instagram cats. So I've always had a dog, and I felt bad going outside and leaving my cat inside. So I'm like, if I can take a dog outside, why can't I take a cat? So, and we found her outside. She was just a stray cat. So I'm like, she knows what it's like out here. Like, she'll be fine. Like, she'll totally be into it. But she wasn't into the leash at all at first. Like, I put it on her and she just sat there and she was like totally freaked out. But now she literally begs to go outside, like meows until I take her outside. So I guess there is kind of a little bit of training, but she definitely doesn't walk like a dog would go on a walk.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I obviously you can train them better if there's cats going on freaking hikes in the mountains.
I know, right?
I wish I could figure out how to do that, but yeah, we're not there yet.
I don't know. That's where I'm like, that is a level of work that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah. I've thought about like trying to take her to a park, but I'm like, if there's people and she like freaks out, I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, out of all of my animals, like Twig, my little Bengal cat, like would probably be the best, but he's like literally like a little zoo animal. He's like a wild animal, and he's so strong, and he's not like a normal cat. Like, he's just like all muscle, and you can't even like hold him like a normal cat. I'm like, I could see this dude snapping a leash,
right?
Like, more so than my dog. And
yeah.
I'm like, it'd be kind of cool. Like, I think that he would enjoy it if I put the effort into it. But I'm like, I can't take a risk of this cat snapping a leash and like then he's just gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't deal with that. I'm like, oh, we'll just go outside in the backyard.
But like a lot of my neighbors, like they have cats that are indoor outdoors, and they just like know where to roam, and like then he'll come out with like a little clicker so that he knows that to come back inside. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. I think
it's cool.
I'm like too much of a helicopter parent.
Oh, me too.
I'm like, oh, they're gonna hit.
I've realized this. I'm like, I can't let her outside. Well, I don't know where she'll go.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if maybe we had a cat that was already like outside and just start hanging out. I'd be fine. Yeah, I couldn't. I freak out even if they get near the door. Like, I can't even imagine what I'd be like with kids, with how like obsessive I am with my animals.
Oh, same.
Like, well, I gotta have webcams on them. Like, we gotta watch them.
Oh, at my apartment, I 100% had webcams to watch my cat when I was gone. You go to a festival and you're like, I know it's just like 2 days, but I need to see what my cat's doing.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to go to a festival again soon and helicopter parent your cat from afar.
I hope so.
I mean, 2022 feels like the vibe.
Feels like the year.
And I mean, as much as, I don't know, I haven't been a huge fan of live music. One, I just don't really like crowds. And two, it's just I've worked in radio so long. It's like a job. It's not fun. It's work. Like, I just can't get beyond looking at it as work. But even with that being said, like, man, if like we were just allowed to just behave like we did in 2019 and go to a concert, I'd be like, if we go to a concert.
Right.
I've been to one festival, but it wasn't anything like Bonnaroo or anything. It was a country festival, but I would try that now.
Yeah. You should definitely try Bonnaroo. It's a little bit more positive vibes.
Yeah, it just seems like a pain in the ass. Like, getting there, so many people, navigating your way around, waiting in lines. Like, that's the part where I'm like, yeah, when you're like vibing and you're having fun, and then it's like, well, now I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I don't know. I think about that too, minus this year, watching all of like the New Year's Eve stuff every year in Times Square. I'm like, where are these people peeing? Because every business in Times Square is like, you can't pee in here unless you buy something.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I don't know. I think it's a hassle getting to festivals, but I think once you're there, it's all good. But if you are going to go to one, I would suggest going to one in the middle of nowhere, because usually there's more space and you don't feel like you're surrounded by thousands and thousands of people.
Like Burning Man or something?
Well, I mean, yeah, you could do Burning Man, but even like Bonnaroo, or like basically if it's held in a field, do it.
Gotcha. Have you ever been to Burning Man?
No. I would love to, but I always said I needed to be more physically active, because that's a lot of work.
To go to Burning Man?
Yes. You're just roaming around a desert.
That's true.
Riding bikes in the sand.
Oh my God. That sounds awesome.
Bartering food. You would probably love it.
I don't know if I'd come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody wears their whacked out outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I feel like that would be like some fitness goals, though. Be like, I want to wear some crazy ass, like, like I'm a showgirl in Vegas, like crazy, like steampunk thing that I would never wear in real life. And I want to have like this body that can like hold that up while I'm being active all day. Like, Yeah, I feel like that's a good goal
that's actually
to have.
my new goal.
Oh, there you go.
When Burning Man comes back.
Dude, that's an awesome goal. Be like, yeah, I'm going to be like fit as hell when Burning Man comes back.
Yep.
I'm going to go there and just like crush it.
Yep.
There we go. New goals.
Nice comeback.
Right? I'll do that goal with you. We'll do it together.
Sweet.
We'll go to Burning Man and then I'll remember nothing while we're there. So if somebody wants to follow you on Instagram, I know you're not really sharing too much of your weight loss stuff on Instagram, are you?
I do my workout checks every day, more so to just keep me accountable.
Yeah.
And then I'll share some of my workouts if I felt like it was a good one, or I'll share my workout playlists, and I'll share some major, like if I lost a good amount of weight that I like feel excited about. I've shared it, but not too much.
Dude, you should really like put out a bunch of like workout playlists.
Yeah.
Like, you're so good with music. Like that'd be awesome. And just make a bunch of Spotify playlists.
Yeah.
Right on.
Maybe I'll do that.
There you go. Homework assignment. So if somebody wants to follow you on Instagram, where do they find you?
You can find me at Becca Beck.
So I will put that in the show notes. And man, I'm just like so proud of you and so happy for you of just like doing things just slow and steady and feeling better and taking a total dumpster fire year and like finding some positives in it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then whenever you ever want to come back and do a check-in and see where you're at, you are always welcome.
Yes, pre-Burning Man.
Yes, right? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
For info on health coaching and more, go to AmandaValentineBites.com.